Sophie Mitchell sat in her quiet classroom, the walls adorned with vibrant student artwork and a few personal touches that spoke to her love of color and creativity. The late afternoon sun streamed through the tall windows, casting long shadows and bathing the room in a warm, golden light. She was tidying up for the day when she noticed a small, dusty box peeking out from a cluttered corner of her desk drawer. It was an old, weathered metal box, engraved with S and L 1998 on the front. Curiosity sparked in her heart as she carefully lifted the box into her hands. The metal was cool and heavy, and she could feel the faint vibrations of distant memories thrumming from within. Sophie's heart skipped a beat as she recognized the initials. It had been years since she'd thought about Liam Parker. The two had been inseparable childhood friends, their bond evolving into a teenage romance that seemed as unbreakable as it was innocent. They had buried a time capsule together in their small hometown of Pine Ridge, dreaming of the future and the adventures they would share. But life, as it often does, took them on separate paths. Liam had left for college, and Sophie had stayed behind, eventually finding her own way as an art teacher. As she opened the box, Sophie felt a rush of nostalgia. Inside were a few trinkets and letters, a photograph of the two of them from their high school graduation, a ticket stub from the carnival they'd visited, and a folded letter in Liam's handwriting. Sophie's hands trembled slightly as she unfolded the letter, the words revealing a piece of their shared past. "Sophie, if you're reading this, then I hope our dreams have come true. I'll always cherish the moments we had together. Life might pull us apart, but I believe in our promise. Maybe someday we'll find our way back to each other. Liam." Sophie's eyes welled with tears as she read the heartfelt words. She hadn't realized how much she'd missed Liam until this moment. The letter was a poignant reminder of their youth and the promise they had made to each other long ago. Her heart ached with the longing for the past and the simple, unspoken promises they had shared. Determined to understand what had happened to the dreams they once held so dear, Sophie decided to return to Pine Ridge. The town had changed over the years, but its charm remained intact. As she drove through the familiar streets, memories of her time with Liam flooded back. The old diner they used to frequent, the park where they had spent countless hours, and the very spot where they had buried their time capsule. When Sophie arrived at the old oak tree where they had buried the capsule, her heart raced. The area had been developed over the years, but the oak tree still stood tall and proud. She approached the tree with a mixture of excitement and trepidation, her fingers brushing against the weathered bark. She looked around, half expecting Liam to appear as if by magic. Instead, she found a familiar face, a man in his late 30s with dark brown hair and intense gray eyes, standing near the tree. His presence was both surprising and comforting. Sophie recognized him immediately. It was Liam Parker. Liam's eyes widened in recognition as he took in Sophie's familiar features. "Sophie?" he asked, his voice a mix of disbelief and warmth. "Sophie Mitchell," she replied, her voice trembling slightly. "It's been a long time, Liam." The two stood there, momentarily lost in the flood of memories and emotions. The years seemed to melt away as they embraced, their old bond rekindled with a simple, heartfelt hug. "What are you doing here?" Liam asked, his voice soft and filled with curiosity. "I found our time capsule," Sophie explained, holding up the box. "I came back to see if any of our dreams had come true." Liam smiled, a mixture of sadness and joy in his eyes. "I never expected to see you again. I was just passing through town and thought I'd visit the old spots. I never imagined finding you here." The two walked together to a nearby cafe, the same one they had frequented during their youth. As they sat across from each other, sipping coffee and reminiscing, they shared stories of their lives since they had parted ways. Liam had traveled extensively for his work as an urban planner and had built a successful career. Sophie, on the other hand, had found fulfillment in teaching and staying connected to her community. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, as if no time had passed. They laughed about old memories, talked about their dreams, and shared their life experiences. The chemistry between them was undeniable, a testament to the connection they had once shared. "I never stopped thinking about you," Liam admitted, his eyes locking with Sophie's. "I often wondered what might have been if we had stayed together." Sophie smiled, her heart warmed by his words. "I've thought about you too. I guess we both had our own paths to follow, but I've always cherished the time we spent together." As the evening wore on, the cafe grew quieter, and the two found themselves alone with their thoughts. Liam reached across the table, taking Sophie's hand in his. "Sophie, there's something I need to tell you. When I left for college, I thought I was ready to move on, but I was wrong. I've missed you more than I realized." Sophie's heart raced at his confession. She had wondered if Liam felt the same way, but hearing it out loud made her feel a sense of relief and joy. "I've missed you too, Liam. I've always wondered if there was still a chance for us." Liam's eyes were filled with a mix of hope and vulnerability. "I don't know what the future holds, but I'd like to find out. Maybe we can start by reconnecting and seeing where it leads." Sophie nodded, her heart swelling with emotion. "I'd like that." The days that followed were filled with rekindled romance and new experiences. Liam and Sophie explored their old haunts, revisited their favorite spots, and created new memories together. Their connection deepened as they spent more time together, and they began to realize that their love had never truly faded. One crisp autumn day, as they walked hand in hand through the park where they had first met, Liam turned to Sophie with a heartfelt smile. "Sophie, I know we have a lot to figure out, but I'm grateful for the second chance. You've always been a part of my heart, and I want to see where we can go from here." Sophie's eyes sparkled with tears of happiness. "I feel the same way, Liam. Let's take this journey together and see where it leads." As they stood there, surrounded by the vibrant colors of autumn, Sophie and Liam embraced the promise of a renewed love and the adventure that lay ahead. Their time capsule had not only uncovered the past, but had also paved the way for a future filled with hope, love, and the possibility of a happily ever after.